So, this was my U9 second practice, practice number 2. I've had 20 players again. I had three coaches, and this time I only had one player coach, high school kid. So plan was the same, try and do some stations and then go through and do some fun stuff. So here's what I came up with. 0 to 5, first 5 minutes. Oh, and the practice was only an hour and 30 minutes this time, which flew by. So I might have to figure out how to get a little bit more in or change some things up. But anyway, first 5 minutes was a dynamic warm-up, just again, no more than 5 minutes. I don't even know why I spent 5 minutes on it, but it gets them stretching and get the idea of a stretch, but they're U9, so they don't really need it. Anyway, next thing was the stations. So 5 to 35 was the stations. The stations I had, again, were passing. I changed up the drills a little bit. I want to thank my friend Jason, who gave me a couple of these ideas, so shout out to Jason. It was really nice to share some of these. GBs. So the GBs, I went through and did lines with the coach, rolled the ball out, picked it up, came back, threw it back to the coach. I also did London bridges with the coach with a stick out with a ball, and then the kids running through, picking up and running. And then I did cradling again, just emphasize, this was one of the big ones. We did the cones straight again. I actually had them go, start down here, righty. They would run around the cone and go, run around the cone and go, run around the cone and go. So all righty, and then they would come back lefty. And then this time I also zigzagged them. And they would go outside hand, switch, outside hand, switch, outside hand, switch. So they would learn to go righty and lefty, down and back. And then the passing, I had coach pass. So I had, I think it was 6 kids, and they each had a ball. They'd throw it to the coach, and then they'd get it back. The idea is it's better for the coach to do it than the kids to do it. You just get quicker reps, more out of it. So they did that, and then the other passing drill I had is all had the balls in a line. And the coach was here, so they would run at the coach. They'd throw it to him. He'd throw it back while they were running, and they would set the line over here. And they would just, everyone would go down. Essentially line drills, but with your coach. So none of these were kid passing. They were all coach to coach or coach to kid passing. So that went pretty well. I wanted to speed it up a little bit. I might try and figure out how to get more reps with that next time. But these were 10 minutes each. So after that, 35 to 45, we played a game. This time we did a relay. So the relay, so we just had kids, and the numbers you can, right? Kids on both sides of the cages all the way down the field, depending on your numbers. So I started with 10 balls in front of the first kid, and they just had to throw it to the next kid, and then that kid would throw it, and then the last kid would shoot. A couple of the rules are, if the ball was thrown to you and you dropped it, all you had to do was pick it up and throw it. These are, again, U9, so 90% of the passes ended up on the ground. And then if you missed it, like the ball went down this way, this guy had to go run, get back in his spot, and then throw it to the next guy. I let him cheat a little bit, sort of scoop it over to the next guy. But you couldn't throw a ball to the next guy until you got rid of your ball. So they just kept, throw and then turn back and look for another one. So the race was to get 10 balls in the far cage as fast as possible, right? A lot of fun. We did a couple, I think we did 2 reps of that, maybe 3, took about 10 minutes. So after that, we did shooting. So I try and do a little bit of shooting every day. So 45 to 65 was 2 groups of shooting. One was dodging a coach. So coach, literally they just have balls. I think I actually had them pick it up off a GB, and then they worked on their face dodge, both right and left. The order I'll probably do is one day face, next day will be power. I call power where you dodge and then just push same side, and then split. So those will be 3 different days, and they'll emphasize those. And then the next one so I did station. So this was one station, and then this was the other, down at the other side of the field. I did shooting on the run. So literally just as many balls as I could. Kid would pick up a ball, run, and the kids actually want to stop and shoot. So getting them to run and shoot, I actually had to force them to actually continue to run and shoot. So the goal was have them shoot on the run. And I'll probably do some type of step down the next day, but just shooting on the run. While you're running, learn how to shoot. The big thing was, one, your footwork. In both of these, footwork is key. So if you want to put down cones to teach footwork, that might be a good idea. I might try that next time. If you're going to do a face dodge, you plant hard with your right foot and come back. Give them some cones to sort of follow that by. But for footwork for both of these drills is big. And then for the running down the alley, kids getting their hands back and up was the big thing. Hands backing up. So I kept harping on the kids, getting them backing up the hands to get good shots on the run. So then after that, after that we did a space here, that's okay. So from 65 to 75, I did 1v1s and 2v2s, splitting those up. And then from 75 to 90, I did 2v2s. And this was, in our league, there's a 2-pass rule, but I did a no-pass rule in this one. Just getting them to compete, pick up a ground ball, and try and get it into a cage was the biggest piece. So 4 lines, roll the ball out, pick it up and go. Teach them, trying how to play defense, that type of thing. This was off of GB, and then these were GB and go to cage, 1 pass. So I actually had, in this one, the 2v1, I actually had a coach stand with the defender, and then I had an offensive player and an offensive player as they went to cage. So coach, offensive player, defender, and another coach over here would roll the ball out, and we did it from the same side every time so the kids would get used to it. Coach would bring the D in, and then when he got close enough, the coach would walk him out. This guy would run down, 1 pass, shot. So literally we did that a bunch of times. And that was practice. Good practice. I wanted to get one more game in. It's funny how fast an hour and 30 minutes goes. My plan is to get one more game in for a 2-hour practice. So I might do something different next time. Play like a different type of sharks and minnows. Do a relay race while they're actually running and doing ground balls. That's one thing I might actually do in my next practice. A good one is just, so ground ball, pick it up, run around a cone and come back, roll it to this guy, he picks it up and goes, just a relay race. I might try and do another one of those. They love the race stuff, so anything to do racing-wise really worked. So anyway, I hope this helps, and I'll try and post the next one that I have as well. Thanks a lot. Have fun.